What's going on, gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode. Week 6 coming up on the NFL slate. Happy to see that we actually went plus 500 last week as a group. Thank you, me. Thank you, Dr. David Dolan. Nick Boys. Yeah, at least you didn't drag us down too much last week. We appreciate that over here. We'll do the normal bad picks, good picks. We actually kind of analyze that a little bit, since we weren't like 7-13 last week. We have some good picks and bad picks. Bad pick, real quick, Mike. You took the Atlanta Falcons. Warned you right here on this show. Just not something you can trust. I mean, early in the relationship with the Atlanta Falcons, she's going out and she's dating other guys and she's doing what she wants to do. And she certainly did it with you last week. That's somebody you got to court a little bit. Falcons are somebody you got to date them a little bit, know that she's doing what she's doing, and then you have that breakthrough moment. Usually comes about week 7 or 8, and then you start to get a lot of value out of her. So that's when I like to pick the Falcons back up, take her out, say, hey, yeah, da-da-da. Let's go have a drink, and then everything's great again. You have great times. You go see concerts together with the Falcons in like week 8 through 16. Not early. Got to stay off them. Good picks. Dave, Chargers, great pick. That talk about just like not being concerned at all. Like you're up 20-3 at halftime, catching points. Great pick, Dolphins, me. I happened to catch that score while I was at work last week. About 5:15, 5:30. I think it was a 4:05 kick. And it's like, oh, Dolphins are like up 21-3. Great. Catching points. So, the COVID concerns in the NFL, I think they're actually kind of addressing this correctly now. They're going to push through. You see reports that today, Patriots, personnel players, Jaguars personnel players, whoever are testing positive, and they're like, no, we're gonna tee it up tomorrow, and those guys can just sit in the locker room. That's fine, and I think that's how they have to go about it. Imagine if at your workplace, like literally every day, you were tested to see if you were sick or not. And many of us may, honestly, if you have 100, 150, 200 employees within your building, how many people would be sick that day? The flu, COVID, whatever it might be, somebody's going to be sick. So now we've branded COVID as a sickness that is, it is. It's contagious. It's all that stuff. I'm not doing that. But, if you had that every day at your work, even if it was just COVID, we all had that test with that swab way up your nose. How many people would actually test positive? It might be a lot more than you think. I'm not saying that's a great thing. That's a terrible thing. But also, there's a lot more people than you think that are asymptomatic and all that stuff. If the standards are that, we wouldn't be doing any business right now. So I think it's a positive that we want to watch football every week. So, if they're going to push through this week with players testing positive today, and we're going to play those games tomorrow, I think we're going to have a straightforward season the rest of the way to go. I'm gonna title this episode before we get into the do's and the don'ts is F the experts. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I take their advice very seriously. I know they do a lot more research than I do. I listen and I do my research. I take my notes throughout the week. And I'm just on the other side of quite a few games this week. And usually those would be cross-offs for me or don't plays. And I'm playing a few of them this week. So let's get into it. Let's get into the do's or the don'ts, and then we'll get into we do the don'ts, and then we do the do's. Let's get down to Nashville, Tennessee, where the Titans are hosting the Houston Texans. Texans opened up catching 3, or out to 3.5 right now. Tennessee catching 59% of the bets, 62% of the money. So that's pretty appropriate line movement right there. But I hate I don't know. Like, if you want to play Titans here, I hate losing that half right there. Tennessee's win last week or on Tuesday. I mean, they got a short week. They won on Tuesday, and they dominated that game. I mean, if you looked at the score at the end of the game, Tennessee won by a significant margin. But if you actually watch that game, like, they had three touchdown scoring drives that were less than 40 yards, Bills turnovers, things like that, working on short fields. So I don't know if that's necessarily indicative of where the Titans are. And I think the Texans are talented enough to keep this game close. I can't go. I would lean Houston here, but I can't go Romeo Crennel. Maybe maybe the Texans had the new coaching bump last week, but I can't go with them. And I really don't have a good feel on the Titans right now. I don't know where the Titans are at. They're 4-0, I know that, but I don't have a good feel as to how good they actually are. So I lay off. I would take Houston in a divisional matchup there. Let's go up to another definite hoop-factor game of the week where the Washington football team are catching 2.5 up in MetLife Stadium. Opened up at 3.5, down to 2.5. 47% of the bets, 37% of the money on the New York Football Giants. I don't know. I would go Washington here. They burned me a couple times this year. I think I have 2 losses on Washington, so I lean away from them just from that past experience. But I'd lean Washington again here because I think their defense really isn't that bad. I think, I know Chase Young's going to be back this week, and I know that Danny Dimes might be turning into Danny Turnovers, and I really would forecast here, like, if you could make a prop bet on, like, betting on a Washington defensive touchdown, I think it's a good prop bet to play right now. And I like, Washington last week, they were kind of in that game in the first half until Kyle Allen got knocked out, and I thought that he was kind of a spark plug. He scored a rushing touchdown last week, and he was playing really hard. He get knocked out of the game, and then you have Alex Smith looking like a statue out there. Oh my gosh, it was kind of inspiring. Like, oh, look at this guy. We watched the E60 documentary, and he had his leg. He almost died, from a leg injury. And I was pulling for the guy. It was really cool to see him come out on the field, but then you saw him come out on the field, and you're like, oh my God, stop! Don't get hurt. This is terrible. He's a statue out there. So, the upgrade at quarterback again this week is huge for the Washington football team. And I see that defense maybe making the score, and I would lean Washington there. Let's go up to Minnesota, where we have the Vikings hosting the Atlanta Falcons. 0-5 Falcons. Falcons opened up catching 3.5. We're out to 4. 60% of the bets, 73% of the money on the Vikings. That's kind of appropriate there. I like that. And there's no Dalvin Cook this week, which definitely, I would lean Vikings here, but the no Cook thing kind of does bother me. I don't know if was it Madison. I don't know. That keeps me away a little bit here. There's some stats though that definitely lean towards the Vikings as a favorite at home versus non-divisional opponents. Mike Zimmer is 19-4-1. That's a pretty good ROI right there, ladies and gentlemen. So, however you want to play this game, I would lean Falcons. I would stay away from, or lean Vikings. I would stay away from the Falcons. The Falcons aren't ready to explode until the second half of the season, so they can screw themselves out of like a high draft pick. They'll probably go like 6-10 this year and win some games on the road late in the season that you would never expect them to win. Wait and see. It'll happen. Let's go to Pittsburgh, where the clash, the AFC North. We have the Steelers at 4-0, the Browns at 4-1. Amazingly enough, Browns opened up catching 3.5 now. 57% of the bets, 56% of the money on the Steelers. Okay, got a little reverse line movement there. That's interesting. And I'm high in the Steelers this year, so I would lean Steelers here. the Browns have some injury problems that really nobody's talking about. And I'm going to point at one injury. I think Baker Mayfield's going to play tomorrow. He's got a chest injury, something like that. Like, he's going to play tomorrow. But I really don't know if it would be good for the Steelers if Chase Keenum didn't start tomorrow. I think that might be actually a good thing for the Browns. But I think Baker will start tomorrow. But I was reading through this tonight, and it just baffled me. And this is totally, like, geeky nerd. So, the Browns punter has a significant groin injury. Now, they didn't bring another punter with them. They just said if the punter can't go tomorrow, we're going to have Cody Parkey kick punts. Now, I'm sure Cody Parkey can punt the football. But, like, how is, like, you're $100 million, hundreds of $1 million organization. And that's your game plan, is that if the punter can't play, we'll just have the other guy kick the football and not have somebody, like, just sitting there ready to punt the... Like, I'm certain there's hundreds of guys in the world that want to be NFL punters. You didn't, like, try somebody out this week? Like, that makes no sense. That's Cleveland Browns mentality. And even though they're 4-1, even though they have a lot of talent, and, like, they've been proving me wrong a lot this year, that says a lot about the Browns. Like, we're just not worried about it. If you can't go, let the kicker punt the football. And that's, to me, that's just, I lean Pittsburgh here. Let's go to Philadelphia, where the Eagles are hosting the Baltimore Ravens. This game, honestly, we have a kind of a screwy line here, guys. Baltimore opened up laying 7. We're at 7.5. But this line has opened up all the way to 9.5. A lot of sharp money coming in on the Ravens late. Only 38% of the bets, 19% of the money on the Eagles. So I think, the Sharps like the Ravens here. I like the Ravens a little bit here too, but I kind of think that the Ravens have played down to some competition this year. They don't seem right to me. So I just lay off. I would lean Ravens here. I think you're getting value here if you're taking the Ravens at 7.5. I don't mind the play at all. I just wish I had a stronger opinion about the Ravens, and I just don't. And I've kind of backed the Eagles a couple times this year. Got a good win last week or 2 weeks ago with them in San Fran. So, I don't know. I lay off there. I just kind of think it's a weird thing. And, the Ravens' rush D is not that good. I think Miles Sanders could eat a little bit this week. And, maybe that game gets grimy and close. And, I think the Ravens are going to win. So, I just lay off. Let's go out to Foxborough, where the Patriots are hosting the Denver Broncos. Denver opens up catching 9. We have the game at 9.5, but really this game's moved to +8. A lot of sharp money coming in on the Broncos late. I don't know. Maybe it's a COVID thing. Maybe it's Cam not being in for a couple weeks. Maybe it's Drew Lock actually back into the starting lineup. I don't know. I really don't know. This totally missed me. Noah Fant's out for the Broncos. Probably their best offensive weapon. Melvin Gordon's out for the Broncos because he's sick. Not COVID related. But, I guess I would kind of lean Broncos just because of the way that sharp money moved at the end. But I don't fade Belichick. I don't. I don't bet against Bill. We don't do that here on this podcast. So we move on. If you take the Broncos there and catch an R line, I like that. But I don't think it's. I can't do it. No, just gotta pass. Let's go to Miami. Miami Dolphins hosting the New York Football Jets. Jets opened up at 8.5-point favorites. It's out to 9.5, but somehow our spread's at 10. And that keeps me off this game. I would love to take the Dolphins here if I was laying 9.5. Getting out to 10, I think I lose too much value. The Jets have a minus 86 point differential this year through 5 games. That's over 15 points a game if you're interested at home. I guess you could say there's some up-down theory with the Dolphins, but I mean, I'm playing against the down 3 of the Jets, so I play Dolphins there. And then I just say, wow, starting at quarterback for the New York Jets, Joe Flacco, and starting at running back, Frank Gore. I mean, guys, I don't. Adam Gase has just got to be. He's got to be furious that he's not in Mexico right now. I mean, if he goes down to Miami and loses by double digits, thankfully he's got a vacation coming up. I mean, really, the guy's earned his money, probably worked his way really hard up to the head coaching ranks, and he's going to get some time off, man, and just cash those checks. I mean, good for you, Adam Gase. I mean, talk about it. Talk about, like, second string quarterback money behind, like, you know, Tom Brady. Good for you. Just sit there, take your money, get out of town. I really do wish I had this game at 9.5, not 10, so I lay off. Let's go on to Tampa Bay. Tampa, Green Bay. The second of the only 2 4 o'clock games we're going to have tomorrow, which is a total travesty. Like, why can't we spread these things out a little bit? I guess we'll all be tuned in to Tampa Bay, though, tomorrow. The Rodgers-Brady Bowl. Packers opened up catching 3. They're laying 1 now. Kind of appropriately. 32% of the bets, 20% of the money on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know. I mean, after a bye week, Aaron Rodgers is 8-2-1 against the spread. So I wanted to take Tampa here at home. A get-right game after that Chicago debacle where they probably should have won that game. You know, got the whole 4th down thing. I don't buy that. I think Tom Brady probably knows it's 3rd down, 4th down. Whatever. Maybe he did, maybe he don't. I don't care. I think Tom Brady's probably going to be able to make the right decisions. I think Green Bay is high, and they should be high. But this is a letdown game maybe for Green Bay. I don't know. I just kind of 52% lead towards Tampa here, catching the point. And then, let's see, we got one more don't. Yeah, we got one more don't. Let's go out to Buffalo for the 5 p.m. Monday night matchup. Chiefs opened up laying 3. We're laying 4.5 now. Everybody's all over the Chiefs. Public money, sharp money, all over the Chiefs, and I agree with them. I just lay off it because it's so extreme. We're talking 29% of the bets, only 6% of the money on the Buffalo Bills. And I don't know. I kind of think the Kansas City Chiefs are more like an NBA team. Like, they know what effort level they have to give on a night-in, night-out basis. I don't know that the Chiefs really care what seed they are at the end of the year. They may be the 1, they may be the 2, they may be the 3. I think the Chiefs think they can go anywhere and win at any time. So, I think the Chiefs would see this as a game where they're going to make a statement, and they could definitely win by, 7, 10, 12 points. Buffalo, short week, all those things going into my thought process there, so I lean Kansas City. Let's get to the dudes. Let's see here. I've got to flip back to the other pages here. Oh, yeah. Let's go, Autumn. We're going down to Carolina, where the Carolina Panthers are hosting the Chicago Bears. Bears open up catching 3, catching 1 now. 50% of the bets, 43% of the money on the Carolina Panthers. And I just think that Carolina's undervalued. Autumn, you do too. Thank you for the celebrity pick tonight. I think it's been weeks in the making that the Panthers are not getting enough love. I think that there's still people out there that look at their fantasy lineup and go, oh my God, Christian McCaffrey's not playing. They've been more efficient since McCaffrey's been out. I've been calling it here for the last few weeks. Now, I still think the Bears have a good defense. But I also think the Bears have had 2 or 3 fluky wins this year. Definitely 2 fluky wins. Lions, Falcons, fluky wins. And then let's go, let's look at the quarterback matchup. Teddy Bridgewater versus Nick Foles. I'd rather have Teddy right now. I think that Teddy is going to face that Bears defense. He's going to get pressured, and I think he's going to make some really good decisions. Dump off some, Mike Davis Robbie Anderson is really like breaking out as a legit like number one wide receiver. DJ Moore, I like their weapons in Carolina, and I think they're like probably like the most like don't talk about them. So I won't talk about them much more at the Panthers tomorrow. What's going on in Florida? Where the Jacksonville Jaguars are hosting the Detroit Lions. Detroit opened up laying 2.5, out to a full 3 now. 37% of the bets, 62% of the money on the Jags. Yeah, that Panthers game against my experts. I mean, guys, you know I listen to way too much stuff, and my experts say take the Bears, I take the Panthers, and I'm flying right into it again here. I'm going to take the Lions here, and I'm going to lay the 3. Trust me, early in the week, when I saw this line, I said, why the hell are the Lions laying 3 points on the road at 1-3? Like, why? Makes no sense to me. Well, I mean, the Lions' opponents are 11-5. The Jags' opponents are 6-12-1. So the Lions have had better losses, quote unquote. The Lions very well should be 2-3 or whatever. 2-2. Definitely should have won that Bears game. So, I mean, if you take that into account, like this line actually looks appropriate if the Lions were 2-2. You know, we can say what we want to say about Matt Stafford, but we have Matt Stafford versus Gardner Minshew. So, I mean, quarterback matchup plus Lions. And since 2003, this is a stat that tipped it for me to play this game. Since 2003, road favorites off a bye week are 62, 28-2. Go Kenny. Go Adrian. Go Stafford. Stafford! Let's go down to Indianapolis, where the Indianapolis Colts are hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals catching a solid 8 all week. Only 43% of the bets, 21% of the money on the Colts. And I'm going Colts. I think Joey covers 3-1-1 on the season against the spread. I think he's got a lot of public money. Number 1 overall draft pick. Colts defense, good. I think a lot of people are fading Phillip Rivers here, but they should be paying attention to Colts defense. Colts defense have given up 180 yards passing per game this year, number 1 in the NFL. 9 interceptions for the Colts defense, number 1 in the NFL. I look for the Colts to make Joe Burrow look like a rookie. I think Joe Burrow is going to be great. We're going to be talking about him for the next 15 years. But this is one of those games where he looks like a rookie. And the Colts get a big win here. Go Colts. Probably like 27-3. I don't see the Bengals putting up a lot of money here. I don't see the Bengals putting up a lot of points here. Let's go on. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Let's go out to Levi Stadium. Wow. Talk about line movement, guys. Rams opened up, catching 3. Probably pre-Sunday night last week. Down to laying 3 here. 42% of the bets, 57% of the money on the Niners. Early in the week, I thought this was a game I was going to go Niners here and just say, oh, value. Like, too much value here on that. Go through the injury report for the Niners on defense. And defense alone. Don't talk about Jimmy G, all this stuff. All these other guys that might have things. And go on, look at the Niners' defensive injury report. Bosa, out. Dee Ford, out. Ziggy Ansah, out. Solomon Thomas, Richard Sherman, Kwan Thompson, Deontay Johnson, Emmanuel Mosley. All on the injury report. That's 6 starters, 2 key backups out for the 49ers. Jimmy G, I mean, he's dinged up. But even if your quarterback is dinged up, you don't pull him at halftime if you think you have a chance to win with that guy. So I thought that was a huge statement last week, pulling Jimmy G in the Dolphins game. Kyle Shanahan, 9-17-1 against the spread at home in Levi Stadium since being the Niners head coach. And the Rams really could be 5-0. I mean, despite a bogus DPI that they got in Buffalo. So, you know, no fans in San Francisco and Northern California. Definitely no fans out there. So, again, I'm going against my experts. I'm flying right into this one against guys that I listen to, and I'm going Rams here. Laying the 3, the solid 3. Go Rams. I think they'll scheme it up. I think McVay will get the best of them out there, and those numbers are just too tough to go against. Let's get down to Monday Night Football. Dun 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 dun. Da da da. Little Cardinals at Cowboys. This is gonna be a good game. This is gonna be fun to watch. Cardinals 3-2, Cowboys 2-3. Cardinals open up, catching 3, laying 1 now. 52% of the bet, 66% of the money on the Dallas Cowboys, and I go Cowboys here. Playing a little up down. Last week Cards went out and covered for me in New York, and frankly they should have won that game like 52-0, but they won 30-10, whatever it was. But I really wasn't that impressed watching that game. I thought they got the job done, but it wasn't an impressive game from the Cards last week. And this is some drastic line movement. Definitely on the backs of Dak Prescott being gone. Now, who do we have to replace Dak Prescott? We have Andy Dalton. This is a game we're going to figure out. Is Dak that good? Was he that good? Is he that good? Or are those weapons that good? Is Andy Dalton going to be able to step into that lineup and make CeeDee Lamb, Cooper, Zeke look as good as Dak did? And I think he can. I think it's going to be a different type of offense. I think we're going to see a lot more letting Zeke eat. Zeke getting the ball a little bit more. And I think Ezekiel Elliott's going to have a huge week this week, knowing the whole week that he's probably going to be the number 1 guy. It's not going to be the Dak show. It'll be the Zeke show. I look for a high-scoring shootout here. I don't think the Cowboys are going to necessarily shut down the Cardinals here, but I like the Cowboys at home, catching a point. Give me the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Gents, I have tomorrow off. Let the text fly. I'm going to be sitting here. I stopped at Meijer on my way home and picked up like sandwich meat and potato chips and beer and everything. It's going to be a wonderful, glorious, rainy Sunday where you're stuck inside watching football all day. Shout out Autumn. Shout out everybody. Guys, really, thank you. Can't wait till next week. See ya.